Hey, have you ever wanted to be somebody new? Have you ever wanted to reach goals that really get you out of your comfort zone? Have you ever wanted to get somewhere or do something or accomplish something huge and it took a big stretch? Well, hey, I'm Chris Schwegel. I do performance psychology for syndicators and help them reduce all their limiting beliefs and throw them away so they can have millions more in assets under management. We're definitely live because you can hear the tornado sirens going. We are Wednesday at 1. Hey guys, how you doing? So I want to help you today become more productive in your life and reach your goals with science. So we're going to talk about one interesting theory today called narrative identity theory. And this is an interesting one because it says that you will reach your goals when you think that you can reach your goals. Hear me out on this. So narrative meaning story, identity meaning who you think of yourself, theory meaning we think this is happening. And so I want to talk to you about a concept of it, narrative identity theory called narrative coherence, which says that when your behaviors match up with who you think you are, that your narrative coherence it becomes stronger. Think of Game of Thrones. Remember how awesome Game of Thrones was? You'd watch it and it was so cool. You'd get like red wine out and like drink it a bunch, Maybe you'd go to the brothel for it. I have no idea. But you know how the last scene sucked? The last season sucked because none of the characters behaved like themselves. There was no narrative coherence. They seemed like different people. And this resistance happens in you too. Let's say that you want to raise $50 million of capital this year. But if you don't have 100% conviction that you're going to do it, if it doesn't match up with your narrative identity, you're not going to do it. Because what your brain needs to do is to stay the same. It needs the story to be congruent. So instead of having something in the future with goals, instead figure out how you can be somebody that achieves those goals. Now hear me out. Let's say you want to raise $50 million in capital. Instead of saying, okay, I need to do this step, this step, this step, think to yourself, what does a $50 million capital raiser do? And then do all those things that that person does. Because then your brain will be like, what's happening? We have no idea what's going on. We're this regular old guy who's raising $5 million a year, but now it seems like we are a $50 million raiser. So let's say you're a guy who does performance psychology for people. And normally during lunch, you sit at home, you watch Jeopardy. The wild card round, I love the wild card round. These are people who were winners and then lost and came back, and they can get to the tournament of champions. But instead of watching Jeopardy all the time, what you want to do is you want to go out on walks. So you say, instead of, I'm going to go out on walks every week, you say, I'm someone who relaxes during lunchtime. And what does someone who relaxes at lunchtime do? They go on walks at the river. So that's what I'm doing. So what is it that you want to do? What is it in your life that you want to change? Here's the way to do it. In order to have stuff, in order to achieve more, you have to be more. So be, do, have. Instead of setting a goal of, I'm going to close this many deals, I'm going to have this many doors, I'm going to have this much assets under management, think to yourself, what does someone who has that stuff do? And then one step past that, in order to do those things, who do I need to be? Who do I need to be around? How do I need to think? How do I need to act? And then do those things. And your brain will naturally think, I think we're onto something. So here's 5 steps that you can take to be, do, have in 2024. Step number 1, self-reflection. Meditate, journal, see a therapist, take my STARS course. All that stuff will help you figure out who you actually, honestly are. Step number 2, What you want to do is you want to find your limiting beliefs. What are those beliefs in you that aren't 100% certain that you're going to raise $50 million? That are 100% certain that you're not going to reach all of your goals? All those limiting beliefs need to be found, investigated, and tossed into the river, baby. Step 3, what you need to do is set very clear goals, but not about what you're going to do, about who you are going to be. Who do you be? Who do you become? What do you think? What do you do? What do you feel to raise 50 million? What do you feel or think or do to be someone who relaxes at lunch instead of watches Jeopardy, even though Ken Jennings is awesome? And then step number 4, what you need to do is you need to get yourself around supportive people. Who are the people who relax during their lunch? Who are the people who raise 50 million bucks? Who are the people that get that new startup going? Be around those people. Get yourself a supportive environment. And 5th, what you need to do is you need to have a little self-care. Give yourself some grace. As you're changing your identity, your narrative coherence is going to be way off. And naturally, resistance wants you to move back to who you were before. Give yourself a little grace. Allow yourself a little leeway. Tell yourself, hey, I'm getting there. Cognitive reframing is so powerful. You may not be that person, but you're working on it. You're faking it till you make it. The person who raises $50 million a year, they're also faking it till they make it. That relaxed dude who's out having a walk at the river, that dude's faking it till he makes it. And you guys will too. So use narrative identity theory to reach all your goals in 2024. Be who you're going to be, and that will enable you to do what you got to do to have what you've always wanted to have. Hey guys, I'll see you next Wednesday. In the meantime, watch out for tornadoes. See ya.